All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Convos with Dederils. It's been about a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks now since we've had an episode, but I'm very glad to be back with you guys. In today's topic, we're going to be chatting about how to get into tech. This is quite exciting because I feel like a lot of people are curious about it. Even I've asked the question personally, how do I get into tech? According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, employment in information technology is projected to grow 11% from 2019 to 2029, which is much faster than average for all other occupations. And demand is projected to stem from cloud computing, big data, and information security. Here are some advantages of working in tech, right? What I found out from my friends, because they act like they are living the life. They work from home, they can do whatever. While me, I'm driving to work, they're like chilling at home. They're calling me at work like I don't have to work. I'm like, bro, don't.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
No. I'm at work, okay? So there's a lot of work flexibility, high-paying salary, work-life balance, and development. So wouldn't you want to know more about this? And here to discuss that with us is none other than Mobolade Ekujumi, who has over 10 years experience in tech and worked for startups and Fortune 500 companies, and also a founder and a director of a new company called SkillHat, where they provide instructor-led expert training to help motivated professionals attain their dream careers. So I am so glad to have you here, Mobolade. Please, I'd love you to go ahead and just introduce yourself to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Can you hear me clearly?
I can, yes.
Great, great. So for those of us who are not Nigerian or Yoruba like me, you could just call me Mo. It's very simple. I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'll introduce myself. So I'm a director at SkillHat, as Dederils mentioned. So is Dederils? I thought it was Dederils, my bad. But Adiola mentioned.
It's Diola. The name is
I'll call her
Diola, but the nickname is Dederils.
Dederils. Okay, got it. I've been in tech for 10 years. I'll start with when I started and I'll walk up to where I am today. So I grew up in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. I came to Canada at the age of 16, all alone. As an international student, I went to University of Toronto. I did terribly in my first year. I was studying commerce, accounting and economics, and it wasn't that good for me. I'm not gonna front. So I realized it wasn't my thing. So I actually found a course called Digital Enterprise Management, which is a hybrid program of technology and business. So I did that, and like I got my first A, and I just kept getting A's after that. That course was a course that taught you a blend of business and technical skills. So business skills like finance, and other tech skills like website development, project management, etc. So that was where I first realized tech was my thing. I love to play video games and I like media. And so that was my first exposure to tech in university. Then after that, I worked as a project manager when I graduated for a company called Future Strategies, where we built healthcare applications for companies. Then I went back home to Nigeria. So I went back home to help start a company called Andela. Many of you are familiar with Andela. Andela finds the smartest people in Africa and helps them transition into developers. So I was a project manager there. We were placing developers in Nigeria for top tech companies in the US like Facebook and IBM and Google, etc. Then I left there to work with another company called Edutech in Venture Garden Group. What Edutech did is that they partnered with top universities in Africa to help them build online versions of e-learning, online versions of on-campus programs. So this is pre-COVID, 2016, 17. Online learning was not a big deal in Nigeria. In fact, it was hard to get accredited. People didn't believe that online training could lead to real outcomes and you could learn online. But here we are today. COVID has forced us to learn online, right? So this is back where we're pushing the mission. So I was responsible to help create the first online MBA in Nigeria. And what that involved was going to schools, shooting videos with the instructors, putting all the content on tablets like this, getting it accredited, and then getting students into the program, doing marketing through Facebook and Google. But my role was more a product owner and a VP of business development. What that meant was doing the deals with the school, creating requirements for our technology and our applications that enable the school scale online. So real quick, in this company, the school that I was dealing with, for example, was Mirabella University, ABU. And in this school, they had an in-class MBA of 300 people. When they took it online using tech, guess how many students were online in like the first 3 months? If you want to guess.
How many? Oh, guess. I'm gonna guess it's not a lot.
It was 1,000.
Oh wow!
So they went from 300. Yes, they went from 300 in class, being limited by time and space, to 1,000 students in 3 months. And that's the power of technology. There's no limits to how many people. Like this session, you have 1 million people right now, whereas if we're in a room, we're confined to time and space. And so that was a big deal for me, getting that exposure and being able to drive that kind of value as a VP of business development and a product owner. Then I came back to Canada after VGG. So I worked with the city of Toronto, with the government as a project manager again. Worst job, I hated it, a lot of bureaucracy. I like, the fast life, innovation, startup, doing deals. So I left there, and then I went to work as a assistant vice president and technical product manager at my previous role with a company called Marsh. It's the biggest insurance brokerage in the world. And so while doing that, I started SkillHat sometime last year. I've been training for a while with another company called Top Run Consulting. In that time, I had trained over 300 project managers in about 2 years of being back in Canada. And then helped many of them get really life-changing jobs, 6-figure paying jobs, change their lives, change their income. They're buying homes now. And so very exciting opportunity that I had with Top Run. So we started SkillHat last year late, and it's just kind of taken off. We've had a lot of students get jobs. Just this week and last week, we had a senior Scrum Master get placed over 6 figures. He got his role. Wow. We had a project manager land a role, and a business analyst. So we have immersive training courses, and we help with staffing and placement. We'll talk about that later.
Wow, that is beautiful. Did you guys hear the 6-figure paying job part? Like, you guys Google what 6-figure means. I'm just kidding. What? That's a lot and this is like in dollars, right? Like
yeah. So in case 6 figures, if you don't know, it means literal figures, $100,000 and up, right? And these are people who are just coming into the country, into Canada. There's a lot of immigration into Canada, if you don't know. So we actually help a lot of immigrants land in the country and really not go into a factory or going to any role that's demeaning for them. We help them really thrive in the U.S. and the Canadian and the British economies as well.
Oh wow, U.S., Canada, and the British. I love this. We're so excited to have you here. Wow, we can't wait to learn from you, basically. So to my thank you. So to my audience, you guys that are on this session, I encourage you all to participate during this session. If you're on live, you get the chance to win a scholarship with SkillHat, where they can train you to get one of those high-paying jobs, and you can also be earning this 6-figure salary in less than a year. You just have to follow what they tell you to do, basically. But yes. So now we're gonna go ahead and dive into this. So, Mobolade, when people think of the tech career, they often think of like coding, or believe one must know the ins and outs of the computer to work in this field. However, in my research, I have come to find out that there is more to tech than that. Can you please expand on the different roles in tech?
Absolutely, I'd love to, and that's why we're here. So really quick, I'll ask a question for those in the audience. If you'd like to get into tech, just put a comment to say, yes, I want to get in, or just put a smiley. I just want to see if you're here to get into tech first. And then once you put that, also just put the role that you think you want to get into. I'm just trying to get a sense of where people are thinking they want to get into. So I see Hamida says yes. I see Forever Miriam says yes. Okay. T Hot Breezy, yes. You got the waving back. Okay. Is there a role that you think you're trying to get into? I'm just trying to gauge what folks in the chat room. I see Max Dave. Yeah, mass communication is great. Someone said they study mass communication. That's what I studied, right?
Oh, wow.
I studied digital enterprise management. So I see architect. Okay, great.
Architect.
All right. So for this, I do sessions like this over like Zoom or any kind of video conferencing. We don't have a lot of visual tools, so I brought my own visual tools. I have something here, and this
Okay.
shows all the roles in tech. It's kind of like clusters. So can you see it, Dilla?
Almost.
Okay, so
Facing
here's
where?
I'm gonna walk you guys through it, right?
Okay.
In the center, we have the customer,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
first of all, here's the beginning of tech. There always has to be a customer. So if you are a tech customer, you're using Instagram right now, you're an Instagram customer, you use WhatsApp, you're already in tech. You're part of the ecosystem, right? And that's important to understand because when you start to build tech, unless you've been a user or customer, you can't actually function and build it. So the fact that you're already using tech as a customer or user means that you understand how tech works, and as such, you work backwards and build your own tech for yourself or with the company. That's the first role. The second, as you can see on the top right, is the change manager. So what I want you guys to do is actually just get a piece of paper or a pen and just get you don't worry, Dale, not you, them, the audience, and just draw a circle in the middle and say customer, and then draw it out to say change manager. Now, within the change management space is where I play, for example, and where many non-technical people who want to get into tech can play. So the roles in change management include the project manager, the business analyst, even a software trainer, someone who trains people on how to use a piece of software, and a product manager. There's also a data analyst. So there's a number of roles in change management. That's the first. So you don't have to be necessarily technical to be a change manager. And we'll talk about those roles a little bit more. But we're just walking through all the different roles that exist. Then we have on the bottom left side, we have the technical team. That's where you have to be quite technical. You have the roles that exist, such as being a developer, being a quality assurance analyst, being a software tester, also being an architect. I saw someone who wants to be an architect, being also a data engineer or a user experience designer. Those are the more technical roles. Whether it's top left, top right, doesn't really matter. It's just the customer is in the middle, and there's all these different roles. So we have change management. We talked about that. We have technical team members. Then we have the business. People are in the business of technology, and that's very important. Money drives everything. So the business teams include the executives, the vice presidents, the directors, kind of like myself, the project sponsors, even the entrepreneurs. So if you have a tech idea, then yeah, you could be, you're in tech. Also technology sales. If you want to help companies sell their products. Technical sales is a big piece of tech. Amazon pays hundreds of thousands. I have a cousin who's got a really good job with Amazon Web Services as a technical salesperson for AWS. Over 6 figures, over thousands of dollars in stock, probably over like 50K in stock options, bonuses, and that's just tech sales. You just have to learn the technology stack and sell it over the phone every single day, plus commissions. Then there's being in product marketing, which is less of the sales, but more about using social media and all the platforms available to us to kind of drive sales of your product. So just to recap, we talked about being the customer in the middle. Then there's the change managers, project manager, product manager, business analyst, data analyst. Then we have a technical team, which is a software developer or software engineer, the architect, user experience designer, tech support. I didn't mention tech support. There's tech support, which is also very important. Then we have the business team, right? The business team is like the executive, the sponsor, the entrepreneur, technical sales, operations team, product marketing. Then we have the industry practitioners on the bottom. This is not super clear, but hopefully you get the picture. The industry practitioners, if you understand a specific industry very well, say you're in banking or you're in pharmaceuticals, like yourself, or anyone, you could work in that industry and be a subject matter expert of that industry and use your knowledge to help build the right products using tech for that industry. So for example, say you work in insurance. I used to work in insurance in my previous role. As a project manager, I need the experts to tell me, oh, how do I configure the system to be able to produce the right price for an insurance customer, right? I don't know too much about insurance. I know about technology, but I need the experts in that industry to guide me and help me with that. So those are different roles that exist in tech. If you'd like to know more, we'll talk a lot more about it. But those are different roles that exist, and there's some that are technical, some non-technical, and some that are more business and projectized, so more operational.
Wow.
So I hope that helps.
It does help a lot. And what I'm coming to find out is there's so many different roles. It's more than just the computers and coding. there's so much to it. It's like one of the broadest field out there, right?
Absolutely, I would agree. It's very broad, and there's so many stakeholders. I agree.
Oh, wow. So you just mentioned a lot of roles, Mobolade, and one of the things that I would like to know is how can we find where we fit in? Like, what's the best way to find where you fit in tech?
Yeah. So to find where you fit, the first thing is to know the roles that exist. Know the roles that exist. I walked you through pretty much at least 90% of the roles. You might hear a variation of role, like you might hear cloud architect, which is still an architect. You might hear information security engineer, which is still an engineer. There's different variations, but the point is know the roles that exist first. Second of all, think about your passion and your personality. So for example, if you're technical, you like to, maybe you're great with Excel, from a finance background, for example, maybe you could go into tech as a data analyst. Right. If you're non-technical and you more so like to engage with people, you like to sell, you like to go to conferences, you like to fly around the world doing presentations, maybe you go into tech sales. Like you could be great in tech sales, right? If you're more so someone who likes to innovate, who likes to build new products, who likes to collaborate with a team, then maybe you can go to product management or project management or business analysis. So is your personality and your passion is very important in tech because it's a lot of hard work. And so you have to have your personality and your passion drive you to succeed. That's the second thing. The third is to find a mentor / coach and talk to them. So I describe a mentor as someone whose future is your past. So someone who's like 2 steps ahead of you already, right? So what you're trying to do, they've done it 5 years ago, right? So find someone like that who could expose you to the industry and tell you more about what you don't see on paper or hear in the news. The other thing is to figure out your transferable skills, right? Everyone has transferable skills somehow, some way. So when you know what your passion is, say for example, you want to go into tech sales or you want to go into product or project management, then think about what skills do I have that are a strong fit with that. So say for example, you are in pharmaceuticals and you've been working in pharmaceutical sales, maybe you could use that your skill sets to go into tech sales, right? So everyone has transferable skills. For example, if you are very analytical as an accountant, you can utilize that diligence you've built, those analytical skills to transition into a business analysis role, for example. So that's the third thing, or is it the fourth? Fifth is to try it out. You actually have to go do it. Tech is not academic, it's highly practical. So you actually do it, try it. Like if you want to learn business analysis, go actually do business analysis. Read come to SkillHat, will teach you, and then you actually go write requirements for an app. If you want to do product management, think about the product you want to build and actually write the requirements of that product, design the interface, actually do some hands-on stuff. And that's why I like tech. It's not like manufacturing or pharma or medicine where to actually practice or do something, you have to even have years of experience and there's licensing and everything involved. Pick a laptop and build something, and then you see, do I like this? Like for example, when I was in school, I thought I wanted to be a developer. I liked software, but when it was time to code, I just couldn't sit there and code for hours. I couldn't look at a computer and just look at code and numbers for hours. I was more so interested in designing how it will look, thinking about the business process, innovating, speaking with customers, solving problems, bringing people together, raising money. So I wanted to go more into tech entrepreneurship and project management and product management. So actually doing the work made me know I didn't like that work, but I wanted to still be in tech, so I had to figure out where could I play. And then last thing, we'll talk about how you know you're fit for change management. So we'll talk about that in a different session. We have a session coming up, I think on Thursday. If you know you want to go into change management, which is product management, project management, business analysis, being a facilitator, then maybe join the session on Thursday, follow SkillHat. And then on that session, we'll talk specifically about how do you know which one to go into.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mobolade. So guys, I've been seeing a lot of questions here and we are going to attend to them. So you can put it in the question box. At the end of this, Mobolade is going to take your questions and, answer your questions. And if you also want to come on live to ask the question, that's another option that you do have. You can join us on the live session. And like Mobolade explained, go ahead and follow them at SkillHat. They have a lot to offer. He already mentioned they got like 2 people eye-paying jobs within the last week. So this is a great opportunity here. And you're also going to get to win a scholarship. So if you're in this session and you're interested in that, make sure you participate. They would, so that they can remember you. Make sure you participate. I would highly recommend that. Mobolade, I love everything you said. It's so educative. Like, I feel like I've learned so much. So one thing that I want to point out is basically, you would think that let's say you don't really know where you fit in, right? Like, you're not really sure where I would stand out. You can just do something in tech, right? And then you can navigate. You would find where you fit in, right? Let me just ask you that. That's like kind of off topic a little bit. Let me ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, once you get your hands dirty, right? Get off Facebook, put your face in the book. Then you start to know where you fit, right? And I always preach it. Just like in our classes, it's highly practical. It's 4 hours of learning something, another 4 hours of actually doing it. So that is really what helps you get into tech. Because when you go for interviews or you're trying to get into a role, they're not going to ask you what do you know. They're going to ask you, what have you done? What have you built?
Thank you. Thank you. So let's go into the next question. Everyone wants to get into tech, and I've been seeing some comments here, but a lot of people are not sure how to navigate this. So walk us through how one can start a tech career.
Absolutely. So I think I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like an 8-step plan. You got a pen and paper, feel free to write it out. I'm sure this recording will be available after, so you can watch the recording. But the first thing is, it goes back to the previous thing we talked about, which was to find the right fit for yourself. And there was another 5-step process to figure out the fit, right? So figure out the fit for yourself. Once you do that, you have to engage with those in the industry. Look at LinkedIn, for example. LinkedIn is a great tool to see people's backgrounds and their experience. So if you go to my LinkedIn, for example, you see where I went to school, you see what I got certified in, and then you'll see the first job I had and how I got to a director level position that I'm in today, right? How I went from being a marketing coordinator to being a social media person, to being a project manager, to working on products, to being a VP, to then starting SkillHat, and then everything that I've done. Do that for as many people as you can for the roles that you're trying to get into. And then that will help you work backwards to figure out what's the logical path I could take. 3 is to get trained. You got to get the required training and education. So tech is awesome because you don't have to go do a 2-year master's or 4-year degree. You can start with where you are and get a really quick training, like a SkillHat training, for example. Our courses are typically 2 to 3 months long, and they're only part-time, 6 hours a week, 4 hours a week of class, another 3 hours a week, 4 hours a week of homework and practical stuff. But in 3 months, you could be trained enough to be good at a specific skill set, right? Then you have to get certified. Actually, you don't have to get certified right away, but to get a job, I mean. But when you get in the job or when you're in the position, definitely want to get certified to cement yourself and look very attractive for employers. So, for example, if you're going into project management, there's a PMP. If you're going into business analysis, there's a CBAP certification. There's a certification for user experience design, software development, Microsoft certification. So get certified. Then the next thing is to look for work, volunteer work, internships. There's a lot of startups who are looking for people who want to help them. They don't have all the money in the world, but they need all the people in the world. So you could offer them your free services and say, hey, I've just learned project management at SkillHat or wherever, and I'm really good at building schedules and collaborating and designing. Can I do some work for you guys for free? That really will help you figure out, 1, do you like it? And then 2, improve your skills. And then 3, position you for that really high-paying 6-figure job you're looking for. Of course, you need to have a strong resume. You need help with that. I've seen people who have the skills, but because they had a poor resume or a weak resume, they were not able to get past the ATS, which means the applicant tracking system. So companies, when they put together a role on Indeed or LinkedIn, they receive hundreds of applications. So SkillHat, for example, we're hiring 2 roles. And in 1 week of posting it, we had 100 applications. So if your resume is not great, your CV is not great, we're not going to see it, right? So you have to have a stellar resume that is good on the eyes, but also has these hacks that helps you go through the system. So they have these systems that if your resume doesn't have the keywords, it won't even pop up in front of the hiring manager. It's not human beings looking at the resume anymore. It's machines looking at the resume these days. So you have to have these keywords to bypass these machines. Then you have to get your interview skills like super stellar and crisp, right? They ask you a question and you're going boom, boom, boom. And the interview is like, wow, how did this guy do all this stuff, right? You need help and coaching with that. Then you have to apply where your experience makes you unique. That's super important. So we had one of our alumni, she she had come from Dubai to Canada, and she got trained with us, and she started applying to roles where like her background in knowledge management and project management was a strong fit. And then she got a really high paying job that pays $75 an hour. That's over 140K a year of landing in a new country. But the point
Wow.
is though, she said that every single job she applied for, she got a response back. And that's because she applied to places where her experience made her unique. So for example, you would if you have a background in maybe let's say healthcare or marketing. Let's use healthcare. You maybe apply to a health tech startup, right? That builds technology for healthcare, where you can leverage your existing knowledge on healthcare and whatever it is, and then translate that into technology, right? Because you know about the business. So that's extremely important. Apply where experience makes you unique, and then you just gotta believe and stay motivated. Right, that's the very important one. It takes 3 to 6 months to get a great job, and that's after training. But in that time, you have to keep upskilling yourself, staying connected, networking. So yeah, I'm giving you like a 9-step plan. Find the right career fit, engage with those in the industry, figure out how they got there, take the required training and certification, get volunteer work and internships, have a stellar resume, work on your interview skills, apply where experience makes you unique, and then just believe and stay motivated.
Wow. Give him a round of applause.
I give myself a round.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. Seriously, give him a round of applause. But thank you so much. I think those were great points. Like, those were great points. I hope everyone here is learning a lot, honestly. So, for example, Mobolade, I'm from a healthcare background. That is really not that's a non-technical role. And I've had discussions with people that are from the same background as me, non-technical role, and they're asking, how can I transition into the IT industry? I feel like you've kind of made some points about this, but can you lay out a plan for those in the non-IT field that are looking to do something in the IT field?
That exact plan is the same plan. It's the exact same thing. Even if you're technical trying to transition to another technical role, or you're non-technical, it's the same thing. It's still figure out the right fit, engage with those in the industry. The key piece is the training. You have to upskill yourself. So of all the things I've said, if any one of them you forget, don't forget to go get trained and learn the skills, right? I use training because a lot of people on this call, for example, already have finished their initial bachelor's degree or even have a master's or something else like you, and they want to transition. They don't have 2 years to go back to school and not earn an income because there's bills to pay. So figure out like a way you can get trained as quickly as possible, as immersively as possible, as practical as possible, right? So get that done and then get certified. Then after that, look for the volunteer work, create that resume, work on your interview skills, right? Get the internships, and then just apply where your experience makes you unique. And then believe. It's the same thing whether you're trying to go from being a product manager to being a developer, or being a business analyst to being a data analyst. It's still the same process that you have to follow, and it works every time. I've seen this work for hundreds of people. I saw it work last week with 2 people. I saw it work yesterday with someone. So do it.
And you know, the one thing that I love about tech, because I feel like it's changing a lot of things, you don't have to like go to a 4-year college, a 2-year college. You don't have to do any of that anymore. It's just, you can literally dedicate 6 months of your life and into getting a certificate, or 3 months, and then get a job within that time period.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
things are changing really fast. This is
There's a
great.
lot of bootcamp style programs like ours. So our bootcamp style programs are focused on change management roles and design. So we have core courses, project management, business analysis, Scrum Master, and Product Owner. And then we're launching our user experience design course in January. But if you want to be a developer or a data analyst, you can still come talk to us because we have other programs we can refer you into. So all these programs are less than 6 months, right? So
Wow.
it's 6 months investment of your time to change your career and do something that you have a passion for is a really good investment in my perspective.
Love it, love it. Mirabelle, I see you've had some questions. Can you type those questions in the question box Once we're done, Mobolade is gonna attack them. I see you've asked some great questions. So
So
type it in
someone's
the
asking, is it chain management or change management? It's change management. And if you want to connect with us, it's SkillHat underscore. Just search for SkillHat. It's our Instagram, and then from there you can book a call with our learning.
Yes. Also, Mirabelle, just so you know, if you're in this live session, you have a chance to win a tuition scholarship with at SkillHat. So you want to try to make sure they know you so that when they see you apply for the scholarship, they'll remember you. Okay, Mirabelle? Yes. But let's get back, revert back to here. Thank you so much, Mobility. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
So here goes to this is my next conversation that I want to have it with you. Looking at how the pandemic has impacted the structure of how we work. We have more people desiring more remote work. Would you say most jobs in tech are remote, or how has the pandemic impacted the tech industry?
Yeah, the pandemic has really, really changed the world 100%. Like, it's massive. So to answer your question, yes, a lot of the tech jobs can be done remotely. A lot of them are also remote. And a lot of the jobs that support technology that were not remote before are now remote. So like in my previous role as AVP at March, when the pandemic hit, they said, okay, everyone go home for a week. Take your laptops home. We're going to install the software that you need, security software. If you need a screen, we'll send a screen to you. And come back home after a few weeks. Guess what? It was over a year we've been home. We're still home. And we're not going back. I'm not going back to the office. I'm sorry.
You guys don't want to go back.
I wake up 7 a.m. I go to the gym with my wife. Come back home 8:15, shower, 8:45, I'm on my desk. There's no commute. Once I'm done work, I go do more work. You know, the problem with working from home though is that it's hard to draw the lines, but I've kind of figured it out because like when I wake up for work, I'm out in my pajamas, I dress up like this, you know, I have my home office, and it's like I'm very productive. But the point is remote work is awesome. It makes you more productive. And to answer your question, yes, if you're looking for remote work, tech is the place to be. And that's if you're doing software stuff, right? So if you're, you know, writing code or you're doing some analysis, or you are even in technical sales, sales over the phone, and it's all over the world. Like even in Nigeria, I have a friend, Boye, he runs a tech startup called Greatly. Greatly helps high school, secondary schools in Nigeria do something called adaptive learning, where they have homework is marked using your software. So the kid has homework, as opposed to back in the day, you go to write your homework on paper, hand it in, the instructor marks it, spends time on that. You do homework in Greatly, and then based on your gaps, Greatly will say, this person is really great at statistics and specifically great at this subject, but has gaps here. So it's adaptive learning. It actually adapts the kid and says, we need this kid to improve on this skill, right? So one, it saves time from the instructors marking the work, and two, is instant feedback to the student that's based on where their gaps are. But what's my point? My point is, prior to COVID, universities or high schools, it was a lot harder for him to sell. He had to go into the schools, he had to demo it, and be like, well, we don't need this. We're okay with our homework software, and with our homework by hand. It's okay. It's okay for let them write. But then when COVID hit, they were calling me like, yo, we need this right now because, you know, a lot of stuff is online and it doesn't make sense for a kid to like write their homework on paper, take a picture, do the homework in Greatly, they get an instant response, and then right after that, they could, you know, recommend whatever the kid needs to learn because all the homework from school is done in Greatly. But now the tech sales are done over the phone. Even in Nigeria, making the point, in third world countries, people are more willing to work virtually. People are willing to buy virtually. People are willing to get homework done virtually. So let alone in the first world, like in the US or in Canada or in the UK, pretty much everything is remote now. If you're working with a company who doesn't adapt to remote, it's not an innovative company because it reduces the cost. Like SkillHat, we have a distributed team. We have people in Nigeria, here, in the States. So, you know, it just makes talent globally available to companies, and it makes it a lot cheaper. Like we reduce the cost of office space and all that good stuff. So, you know, remote is the way to go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So for those outside the country, I have some people outside the country, Nigeria, that follow me, Cameroon. So I want to ask, for those outside the country, how can they best take advantage of the booming technology industry?
I'd say start local. the tech is booming all over the world. I can speak for Nigeria, where I'm from. We have companies that I helped start, like Andela, where my friend boy, you started another company called Flutterwave, which is a fintech financial technology company, and like Flutterwave is worth $1 billion today.
Wow.
Probably has over 300 staff. Flutterwave is worth $1 billion. And from when I last checked, the GDP of Nigeria, not GDP, it's the GDP or budget. I think it's the budget. The budget of the federal government of Nigeria is, I think, $5 billion. I'm not sure what the number was. But the point is, when I did the research, Flutterwave is worth $1 billion. And when we were working at Andela, we had another, it was a co-working space. We had another company that was with us called Paystack. And Paystack is now worth $1 billion as well. So we're saying only 5 companies, 5 tech companies worth $1 billion each are amount to the budget of the whole country. I'm making the point that there's really fast growing, high value companies all over the world. So start local, like see how you can start working with a company that's in tech wherever you are, whether you're in Africa or in the Middle East or in Europe, anywhere you are, start local first of all. Then also think about the opportunity to be able to make more income by working globally, like freelancing. So if you have design skill sets or any kind of technical skill sets, the skill sets that are easier to work freelance are the more technical skills, as opposed to the more change management people skills. Also, sales is one of the less technical skills that you could do freelance. So the point is, you can freelance through websites like Upwork, Fiverr. If you have these skills, you can freelance for any company in the world. So if you're in Africa, you can make USD, which is awesome in terms of currency exchange. If you're looking for how to do that and you want to get placed with a US company, you can reach out to us at SkillHat. We have a staffing business as well. So that's my advice. Start local, and then figure out how you can use those skills globally.
Awesome. So guys, if you're outside of the country, like Mobolade just said, you can reach out to them and they can, mentor you on that. So I would definitely take advantage of that. So go ahead and follow them and do reach out to them. You just don't know, you never know. They can connect you with Flutterwave or somebody. They can train you too. I'm not sure if you guys have a training for those outside of the country, but yeah, so definitely this is a great opportunity to have you here with us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes. So tell us, we've been talking about your company, SkillHat, which is pretty awesome. I think with everything you're saying, it looks like, I believe it has a great future. So keep doing what you're doing, seriously. So tell us more about SkillHat and what type of IT courses you offer and what skill set can a prospective student gain from your school?
Thank you. So this is a great opportunity for us as well to be on your platform and talk to people who can be prospective students of ours and work with us. So excellent for us, great for the students as well. So SkillHat provides instructor-led expert training to position motivated professionals to attain dream careers. And what that means is we only work with those who are motivated. And we play in the space of the transition space. You want to go from one career to another. Through skills training and career development, we help you with that. So as I mentioned, we have 5 courses right now that are really high growth. We have project management, business analysis, Scrum Master, Scrum Product Owner, and user experience design. And so those are our courses. So I'll talk more about our team a little bit more. So we have a team of about 10 right now, and all our team members are experts who are practitioners. So they're either product managers or designers or project managers or business analysts. And then we work contract or full-time. And then evenings and weekends we train. So the time of our classes are typically evenings and weekends. And that's great for those who are trying to transition as well, because they probably have a day job. And so they could come learn in the evenings and weekends. Now, once you're done any of our typical programs, you will then get set up with career development. So you would take the project management course, for example, is 10 weeks. The business analyst course is 7 weeks. Once you're done, you have another month of